system's a pretty easy way to have control over the fuel air, and there's some neat features on it. There's traction control, of course, which is the real reason why it was developed in the first place. Amar is a pretty smart guy, and he wanted to be able to have the average club level racer have that kind of capability without having to spend $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 on a really complex and hard to use higher end system. The BPD that he developed will plug directly in to OEM stock components, and a good competent mechanic can probably install it in less than 2 hours and have it working properly. Real easy to use. You spend anywhere from $1,200 to $2,500 on a titanium exhaust system, and it makes no more power than stock because you haven't remapped it. The BPD system has an O2 sensor in the pipe, which allows it to know what kind of changes need to be made. It's pretty easy to link up with a computer, the software that's provided, and see what those changes need to be, apply the changes to the bike, and then within 10 minutes you can go back out on the track and feel the difference. You do that a few times, and the bike is pretty much about as good as it's going to be. There's a target AFR, air-fuel ratio. Ideal is, for fuel economy is 13.8, 13.7, but that's not ideal for many high-performance motorcycles. So you might want it a little bit richer. You might want it in the 12.8 range. You might want it wherever you think it may be making the most power. So you can adjust that target with the BPD system. It's pretty easy to use. It's really available and it's very convenient. Conditions, there's altitude, humidity. It's much different going from, we came from Road America, and the changes we made and applied to the maps that we've made over the last few days here at Mid-Ohio, they're not significant, but they're enough that we might have missed a couple of horsepower here or there had we not done that. There were some places where there were some big changes that obviously the bike wasn't running right. We ran a map cycle, and hey, the guy isn't complaining anymore. It's carbureting well. It's top speed's up. So yeah, it's actually something you can see work.
So Chris, were you able to try the other map, the B map, the alternate map setting?
Yeah, after the first session when we came back in and went out for the second, I switched it after 2 laps, and definitely noticeable on the top end and the straightaway. Once it really gets going, I noticed it, not so much off the bottom, but on the top end for sure. It just felt, I could almost pull out, and, everything felt pretty good. It felt like I had a little bit more to offer.
All right. Well, it's a little bit cooler this morning, so what we'll do is we'll leave the alternate map in that setting.
Yep.
And then in the race, you'll have yesterday's map, so you can go to that map if you want to, but you also have this morning's map. And we'll look at the track temperature and the ambient temperature as at race time.
Yep.
But I'll leave it up to you to make the determination of what map you use. So an issue we were having in yesterday's race is that the drivability of Chris's bike, he felt like his bike under acceleration, when the rear tires started to spin, he just felt like it wasn't as easy to drive as he would have liked it. And we addressed that. We looked at the air fuel, and what we figured out was that the bike was a little bit lean. Temperature was up and down yesterday. So this morning we built an alternate map, and the map switch here allows you to go from one map setting to a second one. So what we usually do traditionally is we move yesterday's map to the bottom position, and that's what Chris goes out on, and then he has the option of trying the alternate map in the other position. And this morning we started on yesterday's map, and then partway through the session he moved to the alternate map, which is the new map that we built. And we used the Bazzaz software to build that map. So what's your impression of the second map, Chris?
Well, yeah, it's very convenient, I guess, to be able to test both of them in one session. You get to do it back to back. And from yesterday, when we went to the alternate map today, you could tell, I could tell almost instantly on the top speed, it just felt like it had I guess it didn't feel so lean. It felt like it really had a little bit more power to kind of pull up on those guys on the straightaway, the top end. So I think the change we made will be a positive one, and we'll see in the race.